Okay, first things first, let's just start by stating what the objective of the Corp and the Alliance is. So, first and foremost, we have and always will be a PvP Corp, an Alliance. That is what we focus on. It's our number one priority. We do offer PvE of all kinds of sorts to all the members so they can make money, have fun. The other part of that is that while we are a PvP alliance, we're not elitists like Hard Knocks and HK. We're not here to try to make people feel alienated. We are a community. We are friends. We actually want to talk to each other, know our line members, know our leadership, actually be friends with the people we fly with, and that I think is sort of what sets us apart from a lot of other corps and bigger entities in Eve. Oh, sorry, I just woke up. So yeah, that's what we are, and that's what we'll continue to be. We have a lot of big plans in the future coming up. Nick and I have been scheming constantly, so you can look forward to more exciting content with the wholesale train. Let's see. Let's talk about the past. So, a couple big events. After Christmas, we had the Echelon eviction. Great job, awesome attendance, even for around the holidays. I think once again we've shown what we can do when we really put our minds together and we really want to go pick a target and tell them fuck you. The loot for that is almost done, so once we get all that sold, we will be doing payouts. I know it's taking a while, but we've been super busy. But the overall attendance, the hull control, comms, everything on that op was just excellent. So good job, guys. Thanks for that. Then we had the Laserhawks fight, which I have seed. We got our asses handed to us, but I think everybody had a positive experience. It's definitely one of those things that needs to happen, where we just get in some caps, get in our heavy armor, and throw them into the fire at one of the biggest, strongest alliances out there. We will do that again in the future. We will do it whenever we get the chance, and one of these days we will actually beat them. I think we learned a lot from the Hard Knocks fight. I think a lot of people have probably never been in a brawl that big. So for the people that haven't been in a big fight like that, hopefully you got the shakes, hopefully you got scared and didn't know what to do, hopefully you freaked out, and hopefully next time that we actually have a fight like that, you'll be more prepared. I know I enjoyed seeing it. It was fun. I knew from the beginning we undocked that it was very unlikely we were going to win because I know their Vax and Damnation fleet is just terrifying. But I would do it again, and it was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys had fun with it too. Next up is the Dread Eviction, which was led by our fearless leader, Nightmare. That whole thing was a political shit show, but holy crap, the final fight at the end was freaking amazing. The guys that missed it, sorry. For the guys that were there, it was freaking awesome. The fights like that are hard to come by in wormhole space. It's very hard to come by. And the fact, granted, we had 5 Hall Nags on our side, and we had a huge Rattlesnake fleet, and we were just kiting and Sleipnirs, but going toe-to-toe whenever someone bat phones Hard Knocks like that, and we actually start killing Hard Knocks Lokis that are worth 1.2, 1.5 bill, and we stay on grid for a good 25-30 minutes just straight brawling with them, refusing to give up, again, is just awesome, and a testament to sort of what we have become from just the small low-class corps that we used to be, and to what we are now as a pretty large C5 alliance. I think that's pretty much about the Dread fight. And then, of course, there was last night, which, for anyone that was awake for that, that was also fucking insane. So, it's nothing like killing a Phoenix with 2 minutes left till downtime after you've been on grid for like 2.5, 3 hours with bombers, whelping bombers. So that was great. Let's see. The future, yeah, I don't want to talk about that because no proof, but I can tell you that we definitely have plans coming up. We are scheming, so be prepared. There's nothing that's going to slow down the wholesale train. Alright, now let's talk about the present. Okay, let me see. I have a huge list of things I want to talk about, but I want to talk about them in some sort of coherent matter. So first thing, I guess I'll just mention this real quick. Um, with the changes to Alpha coming, we do want to make an Alpha doctrine. Nightmare has already sent out an email about this. Um, we are going to make it a requirement. Right now, it's not like we're going to try to shove it down anyone's throats, but if you haven't already, make an Alpha account. They're free. They're easy to make. You can put them on the same email as your main account, and you can just put the training timer. It is super important that we do this because with our numbers, we can literally have an extra throwaway fleet if we want to. Or as Nightmare suggested, we can have a freaking troll fleet where we have a bunch of alphas and drakes so we can go freaking evict people while our mains stay in the home hole and just laugh. So let's get that going. Like I said, make an alpha, get it training. They're really good. You can make seeds with them. They're just amazing. CCP, I think, underestimates how good they are. Home defense ships. If you don't have a Macarial yet, you're bad. Get one. Um, everyone should have a home defense Macarial. It's the staple of our home defense. If someone does come siege us and try to push us out, we need to have that. That's pretty much all I'll say about that. Caps and capital pilots. We've been doing a very good job of ramping up our production with capital pilots and capital ships, but I think we can do more. I know there's a lot of people that can probably fly them that don't have them. So what I want is, after this meeting, if you are a cap pilot and you're cap capable and you don't have one, you don't have a hull, or you don't have a fitting for whatever reason, email me, send me an email, tell me what you can fly, and I'm going to start looking into ways that we can possibly funnel some Corp ISK towards getting those people into home defense caps for that purpose. And also just for if we do tackle things such as dreads, we don't want the only people that can bring counter dreads to be Renin tiers. I'm still trying to get my capital pilot back in the home, so that's kind of rip. Let's see what else. In the future, I really want to do more blopsing. I know we did the blops on those orcas that we killed. With our null set connections, there's really no reason that why we can't bring in a couple Black Ops battleships. I know there's a lot of us that can fly them. And last night just proved that we have a shit ton of people that can fly bombers. So we can really start doing some fun stuff out of our null six if we just get a couple Black Ops in, a couple Cloakies, and just, jump in there, start hunting, and start dunking people. Also, no proof, but we have access to a Titan bridge that is around the Praga area. I'm not going to say anything else about that, but if you have extra spies that you can plant in those regions, it would be great because I would really like to do a lot more ops where we can dunk some oracles like Inner Hell does and like Laserhawks and Hard Knocks do.
But Providence don't have oracles.
Okay, well, not probably, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, I'm bad at nullsec, so I'm just gonna say that right now. But that is something that would be fun in the future to do. Let's see. Moon mining, I keep saying this over and over again, but hopefully one day CCP will give us moon mining. And then all the indie people can have lots of fun. Doctrines, yes. So, I haven't forgotten it, don't worry. We're going to add some stuff to the armor doctrine. It's most likely going to be Proteus Absolution and maybe one or two more ships just to expand on it. I think everyone did a really good job of training up Hams and the Loki finally. So thank you. Our armor fleets are actually looking like real armor fleets again, which is great. Command ships are still freaking OP as fuck. So if you don't have command ships trained, if you cannot fly the Sleipnir, if you cannot fly the Damnation, please put that in your queue. It needs to be done. The day that we can field freaking 25, 30 Damnations like Laserhawks and drop a Fax and a Dread is the day that we start beating all those other big alliances because they won't be able to touch us. And the Sleipnir is just amazing. The HFI is a good stepping stone, but a fleet of Sleipnirs is much better than a fleet of 10 Sleps and 15 HFIs. So please train the command ships. Pretty soon, I'm going to make us a nano doctrine for nullsec, since a lot of people like to roam nullsec. We don't want people going out there and blingy Tengus or blingy Lokis or anything of that sort. So I'm going to try to get together with some guys. We're going to make a nano doctrine. Basically, so not like Golden Horde, Because God forbid, I don't want to ever fucking use us and them in the same sentence or compare us to them, but something that we can do where people can ship into something that is good, but isn't going to lose them skill points and isn't going to be super expensive if we just go throw it into the fire and all sec. And at the same time, I'm going to also probably work on a T1 YOLO doctrine. So something like Brutixes or Dommies or just something stupid. So that way, if we do come across someone that we just vastly outnumber and we're just better than, instead of us shipping into, the fuck you armor doctrine like Loki, bunch of Lokis and Guardians and all that bullshit, we can just troll them with a massive Dommy fleet or a massive Ferox fleet or anything of that sort. Haven't quite figured it out yet, but the Wormbro fight kind of made me think about that because Wormbro came at us with prophecies and sacrileges, and we of course had our actual armor fleet. And I think it probably would be more fun to trash on fleets like that with just a shitty T1 fleet. Also, just a better fight in general, and not us have to, ship into a bunch of expensive stuff. Let's see. Pulling away from doctrine ships. Oh, okay, no, one more thing about that. Logi pilots. We need more Logi pilots. If you have alts that can train Logi, train them into Logi. If your main cannot fly Logi and you have the space to do it, train them into Logi. It's still been a consistent problem with a lot of our fleets where we're only getting 3, 4 Guardians or Bassies maybe, and it's usually the same people over and over again. It's usually Linux, Mech. Sometimes I've been dual boxing Guardians while I'm FCing and also flying an FC boat, which is very stressful and taxing. I'll do it and I'll continue to do it and I'm getting better at it, but I'd prefer not to. So please, we need more Logi. Logi is what keeps us alive. A lot of fights that we've lost, I look back and I'm like, if we just had more Logi, I think we'd have been fine. So let's get more Logi, and we need more people volunteering for Logi whenever it comes to fights. Okay, recruitment. Let's move to recruitment. So our US time zone is dank. We have a lot of people. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put US recruitment on hold. So we are no longer recruiting for US time zone. I want us to sort of solidify as a group with what we have right now before we start bringing more people into the fold and trimming the fat if necessary. We will make exceptions for people that are either really good friends of people or super exceptional pilots, and by that I mean multiple accounts, or they can fly dictors, Logi, they can fly all the doctrines, but anyone that is going to get recruited in the US time zone has to come directly through me. So, Logan, are you here? No, he's bad. But Ozzy and Tears and whoever else is recruiting US, you guys are doing a good job. Just push them to me from now on, update the Reddit post and the forum post, and instead we really want to focus on EU recruitment. We need a lot more EU people. We can always use more EU people. And I think if we get to the point where our EU time zone looks like our US time zone, we're going to be a pretty scary entity to deal with. So that's recruitment. Let me talk about FCs. As it currently stands, I think we have 2, maybe 3 FCs. And that's myself and Nightmare. Tornus is very busy in AFK. We really need more FCs, which means we're going to need some people to sort of step up and not be afraid to call shots and lose ships. It's very difficult to only have a few people, and every time that there is big content, that we have to rely on those people to log on to be able to lead the fleets and lead the alliance. I know Nightmare is very busy. I know he works a lot. I'm about to start working 5 and 6 10 soon, so my playtime is going to reduce very significantly. So the guys that do have FC experience, if you would like to email me, approach me, talk to me about it, because we could really use more people that are okay with calling the shots, that know what they're doing, aren't afraid to do it, and aren't going to be complete dumbasses about it. We've had FCs in the past that just don't get it, and there's a balance between saying fuck it, we're going to have the good fight, and just being a complete dumbass. So, that's all I'm going to say about that. And so the big thing that I want to talk about which is sort of what triggered me to call this meeting, is comms, especially just during normal standing fleet and just normal operating times. I'll just be blunt, they're fucking terrible. There are times that I log on, especially during our US time zone, where it is just a complete fucking shit show of people. It's like fucking cats that are just fucking meowing in heat and just running around screaming and spraying everywhere. And it's insane, and it has to stop. I think one of the biggest problems that we have, at least from my observation, is that whenever content is found, if there isn't an FC or someone from leadership online, there's no clear chain of command. There's no sort of directive. It turns into this sort of chaotic community FCing situation. And that, again, it has to stop. It has to end immediately. So the solution to that is, I don't care who it is. I don't care how bad they do. I don't care if they completely fuck up. But whenever you guys find content, when you find, even if it's just ganking prospects or ganking a rattlesnake, you need to assign an FC. Someone needs to be an FC. Someone needs to step up and say, I'm going to FC this. Everyone needs to agree. Everyone needs to say, okay, this guy's the FC. And then at that point, everyone needs to shut the fuck up and listen to the FC. Even if they're not leadership, even if they're not officer, even if they've never FC'd before, if you guys agree that this guy's going to call the shots on a gank, then everyone needs to just be quiet and listen to him. The only person who should be talking is him and the scouts. This sort of chaotic, oh my god, we found a rattlesnake. Okay, what do we do? What are we flying? Okay, what do I need to see? Who are we flying? What do we find? Who's got eyes? What of us? Okay, wait, what should I bring? Should I bring this? Should I bring that? Do we need Logi? Do we have any sabers? Well, that's fucking insane. And like, I log on and I hear that happening a lot, where it's just complete chaos. So let's please work on that. If we're not ganking, and we're just hanging out, we do have separate channels for a reason. And I know I don't want to divide us into cliques, but with this many people, there are times that, a lot of us, I know, get headaches just listening to the constant chatter. And there's a lot of times that people are talking about shit that other people don't really need to hear. So if you and one other guy are having a conversation about why this T3 is better than the other T3, and you've got 20 other people that you're talking over, why don't you just kindly excuse yourself down to the sauna and save the other people the headache of listening to you ramble on. If you're playing a different game, again, we do this all the time. We have separate channels. Don't sit here and play another game in our comms, while people are trying to play Eve. Drop down, play the game somewhere else. And if we have PvP, if there's a nullsec fleet, we have fleet channels. If there's a ratting fleet, we have Jewing channels. So again, don't be afraid to segregate yourselves in some ways depending on what everyone is doing. But the biggest thing, and I think the biggest problem that we have right now, is that our comms are just aids during regular times. And I know there's a lot of people that are here probably nodding and agreeing their head with me, because it gives me an extreme headache sometimes, to the point where I don't even want to be inside of comms because there's so much aids. So if you find yourself being one of these people that's drunk and just talking over comms with 25 people in here that are playing Eve, maybe think to yourself for a minute before, you continue to aids up comms. And I'll be honest, sometimes I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I come in here fucked up and then just start rambling. So that's the biggest thing. That's what will divide us, is that if we continue just to let things be chaotic. So we really need to work on that. I don't want to be a hard ass about it, but if I keep getting complaints about certain people that are just constantly being aids in comms, I will pull you aside, I'll talk to you, and if I have to, we'll start muting you for a couple days until comms get better. During ops, they've been wonderful. Whenever we've got a bunch of people in fleet, we're dunking fleets, or we're in a big eviction fleet. During the Dread fleet, it was pretty good. Comms are great. But again, there's a lot of times when there's no leadership online that things just sort of devolve into pure chaos. So let's be a little bit better. Let's work on that. Let's be aware of what we're doing and how aids we're being in comms. And again, even if it's just a prospect, if a gank comes, pick an FC, everyone shut up. And if you don't have something important to say, don't say it. Because again, with all these people, everyone screaming, what ship should I get in? What do we need? Where is it at? just causes nothing but complete chaos. Use Fleet Chat, use Tripwire. Tripwire tells you everything. Every time someone logs on and says, "Where's the fleet? What's going on? Where is everybody?" You could literally save yourself all that trouble by just opening up Tripwire, and you'll typically see the blob of us somewhere in the chain. Um, that's all I have. So, Nika, Nightmare, would you guys like to say anything?
That pretty much sums it up.
Me.
Doc,